Hello, and welcome to Take Me Through Your Day. On today's episode, we interview someone who recycles electronics. Now, I've known this guy for a while, and I really never thought about the ins and outs of what he actually does. So, I get the opportunity to find out. And it's pretty interesting. So, I think you'll enjoy it. As per usual, if you or someone you know would like to be on the show, please contact us on social media at TakeMeTYD. Thank you very much, and enjoy the show. So what do you do for a living?
I recycle electronics, and I play music.
Okay, what kind of electronics? Like, tell me a little bit about it.
So, pretty much anything. I mean, like, when a company pretty much has hoarded all their electronics from the 70s and 80s for like 30 years, they call us and we go out there and pick up all this shit that has been sitting in a room for who knows how long. And
then what do you do with it? You just take it apart, or you piece it out?
Some of it we're like a middleman for. Like, we just kind of palletize it and ship it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But some of it we break down to like a scrap component level. In which, like a circuit board, like you take everything off of it, and then you send it to somewhere where they shred it, chemically separate the metals, and then recycle both parts of it.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So what time you wake up usually?
My mornings are rough. I can't lie. I usually wake up about 10 minutes before I have to leave.
Okay. When is that?
And then I just get a shot of panic. That gets a lot of stuff done in the morning. I try to prep as much as possible.
Okay.
The night before. But usually I'll sleep through all my alarms and just wake up and panic and then run out the door.
Run out the door.
Yeah.
So that's your morning routine.
Yeah.
All right. That covers that pretty quickly. What do you do for breakfast? Do you do anything at home?
I drink a protein shake for breakfast every day.
Is it like a prepared one, like when you buy or when you make?
I usually put powder together with water the night before, stick it in the fridge,
okay.
So I can, in that 10-minute span, just chug it down real
chug
quick.
It, run. Get out of there. Do you live by where you work?
Yeah, I can walk there usually if I get on the steps in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. Sometimes I take the bus, sometimes I get a ride. It depends.
How long does that usually take? I know it's close, but
like 2 minutes.
You do anything on the 2 minutes? You listen to anything?
Nope.
Nothing.
I usually am just like still trying to figure out where I'm at that day. Like, I usually it feels like I just teleport to work, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did do this. Okay.
Oh,
cool.
Okay, yeah,
you know
cool. I made it to work. All right.
Yeah.
Do you have any in the course of your day? Do you come across any interesting characters or like the other employees that work there? Do you have like a good camaraderie?
Oh, yeah. I meet weird people at work sometimes. Usually they're just your banal sort of like, oh thanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Type people. But this one dude came in, and the name of the company, should I say that?
No, you can keep it anonymous, just in case you say something horrible later.
It has something to do with this story, the name of the company.
Okay, you can say it.
All right. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, all right.
Any press is good press, right?
Yeah.
So the name of the company, right?
Okay.
This dude comes in. He's recycling his shit. And he's like, who do I make this checkout to? And I'm like, Evolution E-Cycling. And he's like, that's a funny name considering Evolution doesn't exist. And he just went on this fucking rant forever. And of course, everybody who works there is just like an atheist. You know what I mean? Or like agnostic, or it's just like, dude, how can you deny evolution at this point?
Yeah.
And this dude is, me and the owner of the company is just standing there looking at each other like, I don't know whether to get mad or laugh my ass off at this dude. Like,
well, what's he saying? Like, what's his rant?
He was like, I'm trying to remember his exact phrasing because it was hilarious. He was like, he just went on a rant. I can't remember the specifics of what he said, but he just went on a rant about how nobody reads the Bible anymore and how pretty much evolution is fake. And anybody who believes in it is sipping the Kool-Aid of science because, that's a bad idea.
Kool-Aid science.
For some reason. I don't know.
Is it just some guy off the street, or is he like I don't? Do you guys work with businesses exclusively?
Yeah.
Or?
No, we accept like personal drop-offs and stuff like that to the company. So if like somebody wants to drive by and just drop their shit off, then no problem. But we also pick up for corporate places as well.
Do you charge for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
Well, we don't charge. Okay, so if we have materials we charge for, but we do charge like a labor fee if we have to go pick it up. We don't.
Well, I mean that makes sense. But if someone comes in with like a TV or something,
yeah, TVs are a cost item, so they're 90 cents a pound.
Okay, so what about a non-cost item? What's something that you would just take?
Almost everything else.
Almost everything with TVs.
Yeah.
That's why I see TVs everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nobody's taking TVs.
They suck to get rid of in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, just like
no matter
rules
what.
and regulations, or is it like just a difficult thing to do?
Well, it's like a lot of other states have infrastructure in place to where that's just a service. Like, you get your garbage picked up. If you live in the city and you pay taxes, you don't worry about it. You don't have to pay like a garbage fee like if you lived in like a gated community or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, certain cities have the infrastructure in place to handle that, and Pennsylvania just doesn't give a shit. So,
yeah,
it's pretty much like become like a business opportunity as a result.
Well, yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, you guys, you're making money off it, right? Mm-hmm. So, there you go. Is there any like strange items that come through that you're like, that's real weird? Do we have to deal with that?
This is a good one. All right. So this one time, he had to be like late 40s, really like, just gross looking dude. Like, like imagine a dude who just like spends his every waking moment in the basement with the lights off. You know that kind of dude?
I got an image.
I would assume his mom, who was like a grandma age, like old lady.
Yeah.
They drop off some shit, drop off his bag. I have to sort through the shit, right? You know what I mean? So I guess where it's going.
Yeah.
All that jazz. And pull out just like filthy duct taped dildos. Like just fucking gross, like just like shit all over them. Like it's fucking like,
literal shit or just shit.
It looked like grease and hair. And I'm like, it's not so disturbing that I found these because I assumed this would happen at some point.
Some
right?
weirdo would,
But it's the fact that it was like that kind of guy and his mom dropped that off.
I mean, you sure it wasn't his girlfriend? I mean...
It might have been, but, like, even that's kind of gross, because it's, like, some really old lady. Like, she looked like she was somebody's mom. For sure.
Yeah. Maybe his. Yeah.
Yeah, I just...
But, never mind. I was going to go down a bad way. So...
What, maybe he fucks his mom?
Yeah. I was kind of leaning towards that. It's like, yeah, it's an old lady, but maybe he's fucking his mother.
I can't lie, I thought that. And then I started wondering, like, okay, these hers or his? Like, that's what I wanted.
Are they his and hers?
That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know if they were hers or his. Because if they're hers, clean your shit. If they're his, I'm not going near that.
Done. So, all right. So now you have a surplus of these filthy dildos. What do? You just throw them out, I assume. Just toss them all, right?
I showed them to everybody who worked there.
Okay, yeah, you have to at that point.
Tried to throw it at a coworker at one point.
Okay,
that's just funny.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
And he flipped out, But he thought it was funny as well, so it's fine. I buried them in the bottom of a box and sent it out.
What do you mean send it out?
Like, we ship all our stuff, so what was I supposed to do with it? I can't throw it away. I have to recycle it to be ethical, so I just put it in a box to be shipped. And so somebody else encountered that.
Yeah, all right, the good old dildo recycling plant.
Hopefully they just, like, dump that into a shredder. And nobody else threw it. Like, at this point, it's like, there shouldn't be, like, so many different pairs of hands on somebody's dildo, you know what I mean? Like, this shouldn't be, like, a 9-person touch this situation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, unless 9 people are hanging out and, getting freaky. Either way, digress from all the dildo talk.
Yeah, it's a lot of
All right, so you get into work. What's, like, one of the first things you do?
Usually when I first get to work, I try to pound a cup of coffee, and then I just kind of assess the day. Like, sometimes I do the labor work and organization, like, stuff in the warehouse, so that's a lot of, like, picking up heavy shit, palletizing it, you know what I mean, and sorting through, like, random material and stuff like that. But I also do, like, admin work, so I do, like, invoicing, and, like, we do these things that are, like, certificates of destruction, which pretty much... we isolate the hard drives or whatever they want certified. and then we scan the serial number of it and itemize it and send it to them.
Okay.
So I do that, the admin stuff, and then I do the labor work as well.
Okay, now when you said assess the day, is that just you're doing all of those things in a day, or these are all different things I might have to do today?
So it's kind of, it's like I kind of like consider my options as far as like, you know, what am I most behind on, essentially.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or what's the most pertinent, you know? It's like I might be behind on admin work, but if I, you know, can't walk in the warehouse, it's probably more important that I get out there and try to like make this safe.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Then you get your bearings about you, and I don't know. Take me through just the first few hours. Like, what are you doing?
Usually when lately it's been mostly warehouse stuff. So like we'll take the material we got from a pickup, right? And funnily enough, we use these big boxes, okay, that you put on a skid, which is pallet, you know, about, right? And they're like open on top, right? Mm-hmm. They're called Gaylords.
Cool.
Which I thought, like, when I first started working there, I thought that was like a joke, like an inside joke.
Like this is what we call these, the Gaylords.
But like,
we put our dirty dildos in
but
here.
It's like, no, they're called Gaylords. Like, anyway. So when we go to a pickup, it's kind of more about speed than like anything else. You know what I mean? We want to get it done, so the material's unorganized or disorganized.
You mean to pick up like when you take the truck and
like
drive somewhere and pick up all of the...
Yeah, when you go to the business. So usually like we'll take one of those Gaylords and just dig through it and sort it out, and you'll sort it into different categories. So like right now we have like a system where it's like dirty sort, okay, is pretty much like untouched material from a pickup that needs sorted. Then you have clean sort, which is almost every item except certain commodities like wire, certain components, power supplies, things like that. Any computers or like, so part of it is like dismantling computers. So we isolate the stuff that needs dismantled, and then the rest of the stuff we just sort into different categories. So usually that's what I get into when I first get there.
Okay.
Or organizing like a load for logistics stuff. So like, you know, we'll stack two of them on top of each other with a forklift.
Okay.
And then we weigh everything and categorize it, and then I make a manifest out of that.
Fair enough. That all seems pretty straightforward. Do you have any downtime at work?
Sometimes, but I usually try to stay pretty busy all the time.
Okay, good.
When I'm there. Shh. Come here.
It's all right, puppy.
She barks when people talk outside. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. You can edit that out. What about lunch break? What do you got as far as lunch break goes?
I get a half an hour, and funnily enough, I work right down the street from my mom, so I usually go there and get a free lunch, which I make.
Oh,
so, you
okay.
know,
Yeah.
no mom comments in there.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, you gotta. If your mom's right down there, why not?
But it's cool. I like to go see her, you know, as much as possible.
All right. So you get back to work. Is there anything that just, you know, I mean, you mentioned that you have customers that just come in and drop things off. Do you have any pet peeves about the job or the customers?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, air your grievances. Let's go.
So, usually when we go to a pickup, like this is probably like 8 times out of 10, we'll have like a rough equipment list. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
you got an idea of what you're
just
getting.
from like the bosses like setting up the pickup. You know what I mean? They'll ask them for a rough equipment list, so we have an idea of what we're getting into. You know, so we can have the right amount of supplies and things like that.
Yeah.
Usually that's dead wrong.
Okay.
Like, we'll be told, yeah, they have like 3 servers, you know what I mean? Like the flat, like, kind of like server things, you know, like about 40 pounds a piece or so. We're told they have 3 of those. Get there, they're like, oh, no, we have 3 pallets worth of servers. And it's like, oh, cool. We're prepared not for that. So, like,
yeah.
Or you'll get one of the best things is that, you know, it's always fantastic when you get to a pickup and the people help you. but you'll get a lot of IT guys and things like that sitting there watching you just work.
Oh, that's awesome.
And just like staring at you. Also, a lot of times, like, customers will try to pawn, like, garbage off on us and stuff like that. It's like, we recycle electronics. It's, like, specific.
What kind of garbage? Like
paper, just garbage. Like, garbage. Like,
I have these reams of paper if you guys are interested.
Like, you'll have, like, just, like, a box that they'll put, like, some wire on top of, and then you'll get to the bottom of it, and it's nothing but, like, shredded paper and, like, old cups and things like that.
Oh, that's ugly.
Yeah. Customers can be gnarly, but most of the time they're cool.
All right, good. So you seem like you're pretty happy about the gig, at least.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, like, I won't lie, I, like, used to be a little more into electronics before I started there, just because, you know, I'm around it all day now, so it's like, I used to be like, whoa, look at this fucking processor, man, and now I'm, like, whipping, like, equipment across the fucking warehouse that, like, I know these people paid, like, 10 grand for when they first got it. And it's a weird thing to get used to, but you get used to it a lot quicker than you would think.
Well, yeah, well, that's anything. I mean? Yeah. That's, it's one of those things that comes with any job.
Yeah, it's just, like, weird, though, like, because I built my computer, like, my personal computer before I started there, and I was always very meticulous and sensitive with the stuff, and so it took me a while to get adjusted to, like, just pick that fucker up and get it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just toss it. This is going to be pieces soon. So.
And it's like, you know, like, it's weird to, like, kick a server cabinet and stuff like that you know when they first paid for, like, cost them like $1.5 million and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is there anything like that, like cool stuff that you just come across that you're like, I want that?
Yeah, and that's one of the perks of the job is that I get like cheap access to that stuff.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I got a, you know, it's rare, but like I have gotten a couple pieces of great music equipment from there for dirt cheap. And like, you know, sometimes cool stuff will come in as far as like if you're into video games and stuff like that, you'll get a lot of retro stuff in there. You'll get a lot of like, actually recently, Mindhunter rents equipment off us. The show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty tight. So like we will get like old console TVs and shit like that in, and that shit's hard to find. So they'll just rent equipment off us.
Nice. So like, what's the process? You gotta like declare it and say, I want this. Here's a fair price. Kind of.
It's very loose. Usually, I find something, and usually, I hate to say it, but like, you know, if somebody doesn't know what it's worth, I can just kind of be like, hey man, you'd be like, what do you want for this? And most of the time, they're pretty cool, and they're just like, take it.
Oh yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
awesome.
Usually,
I like that lax.
You know what I mean?
Kind of like we're all working here. It's cool.
Because I mean, ultimately, if they're not gonna, they do run an eBay store in which they refurbish stuff. Because if you think about it, like refurbishment is actually the cleanest way to recycle. It's like a zero impact way to recycle. There's no processing there. But usually, if they can't sell something, you have to figure like if he just gives me like a guitar processor or something like that. You know, you might be able to sell that on eBay if it sells for like $20. After shipping, it's not worth it. Yeah. But like, you know, if we process it as a commodity material, that's like 5 cents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you're not losing anything.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I talked to someone. This was years ago. I don't know if the policy is still the same, but someone that worked at like Goodwill or Salvation Army, something like that. Like the employees could not buy anything during their shift, and they couldn't put anything aside for later. Like they couldn't call dibs on anything. It was just like, if you're here, you cannot even think about buying stuff that's here. You gotta hope that it's still here by the time you get off.
And I feel like that should, like when it comes to like, you know, reusing material and stuff like that, like whether it's clothes or electronics or whatever, like that should be a perk, like an innate perk. I think you'd
get happier and better employees if you did something like that. I understand why they don't want that, because like they want the good stuff to go out and be assessed for a better price and actually sell to make them money.
Well, but I could go on a rant about Goodwill right now, but I won't.
Why? Go ahead.
Because it's like, why wouldn't you let your employees buy the stuff when like Goodwill like has this like fake thing where everybody thinks they're like charity, and they're not. They're a business. They get free shit and then they sell it. That's it.
Yeah.
Like they get free stuff and they sell it. Like,
but they do charity work,
no, they
right?
don't.
They don't give money. That's sure they give money to someone.
Not
right?
really. Their CEO makes like millions of dollars a year. Like,
I never did any research on it. I
but
just
it's
kind of
like-
took them for the word.
no, it's like, dude, like, stop trying to trick me into thinking you're a charity when you're not. You're not a charity. And so, like, if you're getting the shit for free, let your employees have dibs and, like, give it a perk. Like,
Yeah,
come
exactly.
on, man.
Actually, reminds me, didn't Salvation Army have some slogan that was kind of a dig at them before that was like,
Well-
doing the most good?
Well, Salvation
So it's like-
Army's actually legit. Their CEO doesn't
Yeah, that's
take
why
a
I think it's
salary
kind of
and stuff.
a dig at Goodwill. Like, yeah, we're actually doing something over here. And I base this on nothing. I'm just spitting that out into the
But,
universe.
like, yeah,
But-
so... I don't know. I always feel like that should be a perk if you're reusing material. You know, let your employees...
Exactly.
Like,
Especially if you're going to pay for it or you're going to contribute something. It's like, yeah, why not have,
let your employees have at it. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I could picture, like, some people...
I mean... Sorry, good.
No, I was just going to say, like, someone that, like, runs some Etsy fashion store. It's like, well, I'll work part-time at Goodwill and I'll just, get all the good stuff before it goes on the shelves. But I'm probably thinking about it too much.
Well, I mean, but at the same time, like, how concerned can you, like, be about it? Like, if you give your employees some shit and they want to go sell it, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
why
I
would
mean,
you even
you-
let that be a concern?
Yeah, exactly. You're selling free items.
Yeah.
Items that you got.
And, they're doing the legwork on it anyway, so if you don't have the time to do that, then shut up. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
exactly. I don't know. I find it all ridiculous. And it could be completely irrelevant now. They might have... I don't know what their policies are of recent. All right, back to you.
All right.
We went on enough of a
Yeah,
Goodwill rant.
tangent there. All right.
As far as your, like, goals and aspirations, like, does this job have, like, a long-term kind of situation for you? Or are you just kind of doing it because, like, that's what's up right now?
I mean, I'll stick with jobs to pretty much, like, I don't know, like, keep a roof over my head, honestly. I mean, I'll be interested in them while I'm there and things like that, but honestly, like, I usually just work. I can be loyal to a company, but, like, I work to make money. I want to play in music and do that whole creative bit.
Oh, we're getting into that. Don't worry.
So-
I'm just trying to wrap this up into a nice little bow.
I can always, I'll put 100% in it at work, but at the same time, it's just a means to an end.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, are you making a good enough living? Like, you don't have to talk any numbers or anything, but are you comfortable?
I don't make a lot of money, but
But you live though, right?
but
I mean, you're doing all right.
I'm okay with that. I don't need a lot, so I'm okay.
All right, good. I'm just trying to set the table for someone who would want to get into this type of work because I mean, it's fascinating. Like,
I mean,
it's something I wouldn't mind doing. I did something similar for, except it was not recycling at all. It was just throwing things away. But we would come across a lot of really cool stuff, and I always loved just coming across old stuff that people are throwing away. It's like, this is trash to you? Like, this is incredible.
And don't get me wrong, it's enjoyable sometimes, and it actually does keep me in shape, which is nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's good.
But I mean, I can still be committed to a means to an end. I mean, it doesn't like detract from my willingness to do the job or care about my job. Because I do. But ultimately, like, I figured out already what I want. So
yeah. Well, I mean, it is an interesting job, too. And I know...
Yeah, it can be.
Because we're going to get into some of the other things that you did. I'd like to talk about... you worked at for a while, too, right?
We'll say...
no, I just thought, like, you're not employed there anymore. You could probably...
Competitor.
Okay,
yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's just keep it vague like that. Everybody knows what we're talking about. But before
there's some good stories from that.
Before we get to that, because I want to get into that, and I want to get into the music stuff too. If someone wanted to get into this line of work, what would you recommend that they do?
It really depends on where you live, honestly, because like I said before, like some places, it's just part of the infrastructure. You know what I mean? It's not a business.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just say here, if we're working in Pittsburgh, let's just say Pennsylvania, anywhere in Pennsylvania.
Probably your best bet, if you do your research and you're qualified enough to start an LLC, just start your own gig. That's how you'll make the most money. And I mean, like if you have 2 employees, you can do it with 2 employees, a pickup truck, and a storage locker if you really wanted to. Because I mean, honestly,
well, I mean, how would you get the kind of contacts to do something like that?
You just gotta call.
Just start calling around.
Yeah, because I mean, you have to figure like.
I like that entrepreneurial spirit. So like
the people who recycle the base components and stuff, they're smelters. They want to make money. You know what I mean? So, and you have to figure like for a big company, sure, if you have like a box of circuit boards to be smelted, you might get like 3 G's for it, right?
Yeah.
And that might not be much to a big company, but if it's just you know what I mean? And it takes you, like a month to generate that, that's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if that's just one part of what you're generating, then you're good, and you have almost no upkeep cost because you have a storage locker and a truck, and that's it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's absolutely right.
I mean, there's a lot of certification stuff, too.
Like what?
Like, there's a R2, which is basically like responsible recycling. You know what I mean? Like, you have to recycle stuff the right way. And, like, part of that is, like, a chain of command thing, or a chain of ownership thing, where it's like, you know, you have to know every step that this thing you're trying to recycle is going through. Like, you can't, like, just send it anywhere for a quick payday. You know what I mean? You have to know the end result of that.
Yeah, and you'd also, you kind of just want to know. It's like where everything's going.
But, like, those certifications can be kind of hard to get, but at the same time...
Hard to get in as you need some kind of classes or money, or there's
you just have to qualify for it, I think. And you have to, you know, probably a ton of paperwork.
I imagine either way it's a ton of paperwork.
There's only so many companies that are R2 certified in, like, the world. Like, I think it's like 100, maybe.
Wow.
Or something
that's
like
really
that.
low.
But, like, but it also is a fairly new certification class, so that also might have...
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, too.
But, I mean, you also have, like, OSHA standards and stuff like that.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? Safe working environments. There's a lot, and as far as, like, you know, since we work with sensitive data, there's a lot of that kind of stuff. Like, you know, we've done pickups for and stuff like that. It's like, if I'm destroying these guys' hard drives, they need to get destroyed. Like, if
so they need some kind of verification that, like, all the information from this will be gone.
But it's like, you know, if you lose hard drive and somebody ends up with it and does something with it, you go to jail. Yeah. For that. Like,
okay. No, I mean, that completely makes sense.
So there's a lot of responsibility to it.
I imagine that there should be, though. Mm-hmm. It's not like an arbitrary thing. Like, yeah, you actually need to do these things. Right. But I mean, I don't think anything's wrong with that.
No, me either.
All right. All that being said, let's just creep into a few other aspects of your life. Let's talk about you working at that store we mentioned earlier.
That was a trip.
Yeah, you worked there for a while. What? Just give me a basic rundown. We don't even have to go into the whole...
I can't lie, though. Like, I used to think it was hard working there. Mm-hmm. But, like, since I got this job, I've become a lot better at everything to a certain extent. Good. And it's like, I feel like I could just crush that job now. Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't be that hard. But it was mostly, like, the thing that tripped me out is, like, usually when you get retail people, right, they're like, well, fuck the customers, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I love the customers. I love my coworkers. I hated management. I hated anybody who was above me because they just, like, had no idea what they were talking about to me. Yeah. Or, like, you know, I would, you know, kill myself for that job and then get passed over all the time for people who at least I determined to be less fit. But, I mean, ultimately, that might come down to my ego. I'm not sure.
There's that, and I've also noticed a lot of people will get these management positions that don't have any knowledge of the job, whereas like some people would just work your way up to manager, and some people just get a college education, jump right into manager, and have no idea how the actual store works or that type of store works.
Absolutely, yeah. And they also like a mentality that's promoted a lot within, like, especially upper management that I hate and absolutely fundamentally disagree with is that, I'm sure you've heard this, delegating is the same as doing. No, it's not. No, it's fucking not. You can't just...
Not if you've never done it.
But, like, delegating is good if you can plan right and it will actually make you more efficient. But, like, you know, I had managers above me who pawned all their work off on everyone else, and they got credit for that work, and that doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
well, I mean, I get the delegating part, but you're supposed to delegate.
But you shouldn't delegate it so you're lazy.
Exactly. You know you shouldn't be pawning things off just because you don't want to do them. Right. Or that you don't know how to do them, or that you plan them in a way that, since you've never done them, it's impossible for someone to do all these.
Or, like, I mean, I get there's different factors that play into it, but at the same time, it's like...
Sorry, I'm going real broad with it.
No, it's cool. But, like, when it comes to capability, it's like, you know, if I have to, I don't know, do some physical thing, and, like, the assistant manager or something can't, to me, that's a problem. Like, I'm like, I couldn't do this thing before, but I worked until I could.
Yeah.
So you should be able to do everything I can do.
Yeah.
Because you're above me.
Yeah, I agree with that. You should be able to handle everything. You shouldn't have to do it.
Yeah. You don't have to do it, but like...
But that's where the delegation comes in. It's like you're capable. Like you're the manager. Like if all your employees walked out, you should be able to handle everything.
And I ended up having to work a couple nights alone.
Yeah.
With call-offs and stuff like that. That was fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have any, nightmare customers, anything like that? Any good stories from that era of your life?
I don't know. I was usually able to talk down most of them.
You got any just fun examples then?
Couple schizo type dudes. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
you get a lot of people in who are like obviously meth heads or something like that.
Well, I mean, you're in the so you're getting it from every angle.
And they all do the same thing. They all want just some Western Union money orders, and you totally know that they're doing some like sex scam type shit, and they're just getting paid by some old dude for this.
Yeah.
And I remember one time this chick and this dude who were definitely like cracked out, like all the time. You could tell. And she just was wearing a white hoodie, right?
Yeah.
Just had a bronzer or whatever all over this thing. It was so fucking funny. And it looked like the dude had it on too.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Just like splotches of bronzer, and they're sitting there like trying to do a Western money, like a Western Union.
Yeah, I got you. All right, so you mentioned you were in a band earlier, so we should probably talk about that. Talk about just working together with a band and playing shows and stuff.
And we are called Day by Day. Selfish.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, plug all you want.
Right. It's cool. I mean, like I like working with other musicians, and I'm all about the work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem practicing something for hours until I get it. Luckily, most of, like our personalities don't really conflict or anything. We haven't run into any of that yet. I mean,
good.
So I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about it. Really.
Okay, but what about just playing shows? Anything about promoters or gigs or clubs or getting paid or whatever?
I haven't really worked with I haven't had to be involved with that.
Oh,
side
okay,
of it
so you just stay out of it. You're just like, I'm playing this band, leave me alone.
Well, I'm gonna take more of that role on as we go further with this, but I'm fairly new to the band still, and so is our bass player. They've been around for a while, but it kind of dropped off, and then they wanted to get more serious about it again. So
okay, so they were already established a little bit.
A little bit.
Either way, playing shows. What's that like?
The
the show itself, none of the other stuff.
I'm a very anxious person, so it's usually nerve-wracking, so I'm usually trying to figure out some, chemical mixture that I can take to just make me ultra-confident, so I can just go up there and rip it. But, I mean, it's nerve-wracking, but, you have to push through that.
When you play guitar, what is your general demeanor on stage?
I'm usually too nervous to move right now, but I'm trying to work on that as well. I won't lie.
Just stay up there all stiff.
Just try to play as accurately as possible. The last show we played, I won't say where it was or who it was with. The sound mixing was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And I could hear the other guitarist over the drums, and that probably shouldn't be a thing.
All right. Why not? Now let's just get into some random stuff. This is just fun, lighthearted, and bounce around a little bit. Do you have a shoe preference?
A shoe?
Yeah, shoe preference.
Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of?
I love fancy boots, and if I'm not wearing fancy boots, I like dress shoes, wingtips, and fancy boots like that. When it comes to basic shoes, I wear one kind, which is what I have on right now. These are $5 Family Dollar thin-soled Vans ripoffs. That's all I wear.
Black on black heads.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Like that.
That's it.
All right, fancy boots. What kind of boots are your boots? Fancy boots.
Well, obviously, I have a big heart on for Drive. So the what is it called? I think it's Stacey Madison.
Right? Steve Madden? Stacey Adams.
Yeah, Stacey Adams. There you go. Oh, the Madison is the style.
Madison boot.
Yeah. Those boots are hard as hell, and I do like those. I never have bought a pair, and I just want them so bad. So I will buy a pair of that. But usually, I go to Burlington or something like that.
Oh, and just be like, how fancy can I get here
in the fucking summertime? And all the nice boots are on clearance. So I'll buy like a $300 pair of boots for like $20.
I like your strategy.
Yeah,
That's good. That's how I shop for winter coats.
It works. But like, unfortunately, like I'm trying to be more conscientious now with them, because usually I'll buy one pair of fancy boots and just kick the shit out of them until they're falling apart, and then I don't have any.
Yeah, but I like that look, though. I like someone that just got a real nice boot and then beat the ever-loving shit out of it. It's a great look.
But, man, they fall apart quick. Like my soles have... Like, I remember I've been at work before. Just a flabby sole. Like, where I kick something and then it's just like, nope.
I know you're doing a diet thing right now, but try to speak in general. Do you have a go-to snack?
Beef jerky or almonds.
Okay, good.
Pistachios are good. I like nuts.
Yeah, I love a good pistachio. Why not?
I'm trying to think. Lately, when I've been eating almonds, it's the wasabi and soy sauce ones.
Those are
blue
good.
Diamond ones.
I like those ones. I like they do a Thai chili one.
Shit, I gotta try it.
Fantastic. Damn. All right. So, what kind of soap do you use?
What kind of what?
Soap. What kind of soap do you use?
Honestly, like hand soap or like body soap?
I try to keep it broad, whatever you feel like talking about. But let's
go. Hand soap, I use whatever's there.
Yeah, all right. So shower.
You know what I mean? Shower, I use bar soap still.
Bar soap. Okay, I was waiting for one. I was like, someone's gonna give me a bar soap.
Cheap. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care about that. So, I mean, I'll buy like a fancy bar soap every once in a while, but I don't like shower gel and shit like that. I've tried. And it's just like, I fucking hate using loofahs and shit like that. And if I do the hand wash thing with a shower gel, it's like, oh cool, I used this 4 times and it's gone. I'm glad I paid $20 for this.
I feel you. Spicy food, not spicy food?
I like both. I mean, I enjoy a good spicy dish.
So you go either way.
Yeah.
You don't have a go-to, like, I'm always spicy or I'm always not spicy.
Yeah, like I can do either or.
Yeah.
Sometimes I crave spicy food really badly. Like when we had, my girlfriend bought like a jar of like pickled jalapenos, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know why, but I just kept like fucking like going to the fridge and just popping a couple in and just like...
Yeah, getting down.
Yeah, I've become a lot more of a fan of spicy food as I've gotten older too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My favorite is horseradish type heat, or like wasabi though. Like that quick sort of like smacks you and it's gone.
Yeah,
I enjoy a good like pepper heat, but like... That horseradish type heat is my jam.
Yeah. There's some... I don't want to get into it. We're going to go in a whole rabbit hole of food. Cocktail. You have a cocktail that you go to? Something you enjoy. It's not something you necessarily would order.
I like whiskey sours a lot. It's just kind of like you gotta go to certain places for that, because I like the egg white or whatever in it. You know what I mean?
You get a good one.
But yeah,
fantastic.
Like whiskey sours are the
sours
jam.
mix though, that kills me.
Like I used to be a lame ass and just order an old fashioned all the time. Like you know that. Like anybody who goes to a fancy like cocktail bar that's a dude, they're like, oh, old fashioned. It's like try something else. I mean, I've tried a lot of different cocktails, but I would say like whiskey sour is the go-to.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because I do like a good old-fashioned. I don't order them very often, but it's nice to know inside the mind of a bartender. There.
I do too, but I didn't realize how lame it is, I guess, to order that.
I just like bourbon, and it kind of seems to, like, if you go to a cocktail bar and you're just like, put bourbon in a glass for me, please.
Yeah.
If you say old-fashioned, it's like, all right, well, I'm still getting a cocktail.
And old-fashions are fun.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, what's your favorite candy?
Candy. Ooh. Can I divide this into 2 categories?
Absolutely. There's no rules.
Can we have like chocolate-esque stuff and then like Skittles?
Let's split it down the middle. I firmly believe in that.
As far as like chocolate-esque stuff, probably like a Fifth Avenue. It's like a Butterfinger on crack to me.
All right.
You
Fifth Avenue.
Paydays are good too, because I said I like nuts, so I like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
As far as like the more like artificial as fuck candy,
mm-hmm.
Sour Patch Kids are awesome.
Excellent choice.
The Sour Patch Cherries are the fucking truth.
I've never heard of this Sour Patch Cherry. I've seen the watermelon, but never.
Right down the street, I love this too. Like any like, I don't want to say ghetto shop, but it is a ghetto shop. I love them because they sell these little like drug dealer bags of
I love
fucking
that.
candy, and you could just buy just straight Sour Patch cherry, and they're just so good. Like a good cherry candy is hard to find, and they're fucking spot on.
Spot on. Wonderful. What's your biggest fear?
I mean, I would say like failure, but it's more so like I don't want to like. I'm more afraid of like putting my all into something and thinking it's awesome, when in reality it's fucking horrible. I mean, I know that's subjective, but
No,
like,
no,
you know
it's
what
good.
mean?
I know what you mean, because failure is. I mean, everybody's afraid of failure a little bit, but like you're saying something that you passionately believe in, and then you find out, oh my god, this was dog shit.
I always like worry that I'm deluding myself in some way, but like I've kind of fought against that my whole life, and I'm trying to be more like just do the thing, and like
let's do the thing.
Just
we'll see
go for
happens.
it and believe in it, even if people don't like it or it seems stupid or like But like I've a fear of thinking that I'm better than I actually am. But if I have that fear, it prevents me from being as good as I could be.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, that makes
sense.
sense.
So I'm trying to reverse that a little, but that's probably my biggest fear. Is just like being. My biggest fear is fear. Then I guess just being so afraid that I can't do what I can do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a big thing on its own that you don't need anything extra to compound.
And I always found that fascinating how much especially when it comes to like playing guitar and stuff like that. Yeah, there's the sort of like muscle memory putting the work in, but there's also like, if I just randomly one day shift my mentality 1 inch, I can suddenly do stuff that I can never do, and that's weird to me that like mental blocks and stuff like that play so much into that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how easy it is to like reverse that if you just think a new way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Positive vibes. I like that. That's been kind of a growing theme in every one of these episodes.
Yeah.
It's like someone just comes in with this positivity.
Right.
It sounds corny a lot of the time, but I still like that it's out there.
Well, I mean, that's also a thing is like, there's a way to be positive without being a corny douche about it, and most people aren't. You know what I mean? Most people have that sort of Facebook mountains quote in front of it, and it's like, dude, that's fucking stupid. Like, that doesn't actually mean anything, and it's just vague as hell, and it doesn't actually mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it in a meme and just put it out there, it just like, come on, dude, why are we even friends on here? But like, in context, it's a very profound thing.
Yeah,
like, it could mean a lot.
And like, it's weird how much comes down to like, how much how you perceive stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm about to play a show and I'm nervous, I could go one way where I'm like, I'm gonna fuck this up, and then I will. Or I could, fight against that and be like, I'm gonna do a great job, and then I might.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
What movie do you think you've seen the most in your life?
Like, watched the most?
Yeah, I used to say, like, what's your favorite movie, but people take too much time thinking, like, what movie's going to represent me?
It's probably both. I've had to think about it a lot. But I would say if I had to... I've watched it 1,000,000 times, and if I had to encapsulate, like, just my sense of humor into one movie, it's In Bruges. Like,
oh, yeah. Excellent
movie.
movie. I love that movie.
Like, I can watch that over and over again and never get sick of it just because of how just, like, on point it is as far as my sensibilities when it comes to humor.
Yeah, I get it. Did you see 3 Billboards?
I didn't yet. I
Okay.
want to.
We'll talk about that at some other time.
It seemed very Coen-esque, especially with Frances McDormand in it. You know what I mean?
I enjoyed it, but we'll save that conversation
all right.
for another time.
Fair enough.
Tipping custom. How do you tip primarily?
At least 20% every time.
Okay, good.
Delivery drivers, I usually have a flat rate of 5 or above, depending on.
Good on you. Good on you.
Depends on but if I order something and it's like $60, I'll definitely give them like a 10 or something like that. And that actually like always baffles me. Is that I've met millions, or not millions, obviously I haven't met millions of people, but I met a lot of people in the service industry, and like people are just dicks to delivery drivers, and like I don't get it. It's like all you did was make a drink or put somebody's food on the table. They're fucking ruining their vehicle, spending money to make money, and like why would you just? And every time you go and drive a car, it is a risk. Like, it just is. And it's like, why wouldn't you at least give them enough money to pay for the fucking gas that they spent to get to your goddamn house? Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't need to get me started on that.
Like, I don't need to talk to you or whatever. We don't have to be friends, but, like, you're doing a job. Like, fucking tip.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's certain things like that it's like...
You ordered food that's 6 miles away and it's still fucking hot when you get it. Fucking give the guy at least $5. Come on.
All right, what's the last picture you took on your phone? You don't have to show me, but...
I don't remember.
You can look.
I don't take many pictures. Let's see. Probably accidentally did it.
All
Probably
right.
like an accidental
It's a picture of the inside of your pocket.
Let's see. Mostly I just save photos from the internet, so...
And while you're looking, we'll knock this one out. What kind of toothpaste do you use?
Whatever's available, really. Like, I just buy some stuff. Usually, anything that says whitening on it.
Yeah,
I'll
that works.
buy it. I don't think about it too much. I used to use Sensodyne because it tasted amazing.
That's what I just started using.
And it seemed to help.
Sensodyne with the enamel protect.
Yeah.
Pronamel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pronamel. That's why I picked up some of that. It's pretty good. Not to advertise for Pronamel. They have a lovely product.
Okay. Apparently, it was me hanging out with my girlfriend and 2 of our friends.
Oh, okay. That's lovely.
Apparently.
That's lovely. All right. What type of music do you prefer and why?
The moods change. I don't know.
All right. Just say, I leave here. You got nothing but music. What are you listening to?
I don't know. Lately. I float between like sad boy synth music, instrumental music that's either technical or it's like soundtracks. Like, I love the soundtrack of The Fountain and stuff.
Oh, it's
like that.
I don't think I've ever listened to that.
Clint Mansell is the man.
Oh, no, yeah, he's
the
great.
fucking man. But, like, trap rap. Like, if I ever need to clean the house for some reason, if I listen to trap rap, I just get that shit done.
It just helps? All right, yeah.
It's weirdly motivating. I don't know why, but it is. I also like a lot of indie rock and stuff like that. Usually, if I don't know what to listen to, I'll go to, like, a go-to. Kind of like
throw out some names.
Block Party's good.
Okay.
For that, I've been listening to a lot of lately. Like Terramellos is a go-to. If I don't know what to listen to, like their first album, I consider like it's in the top 5 or whatever high fidelity bullshit we get into.
Yeah.
But if I don't know what to listen to, I'll listen to that. Or Frightened Rabbit, their newest one is really good. I'll go to that.
All right.
But I'm usually pretty ADD with my music. I'll bounce around everywhere.
That makes sense. I'm the same way. It's crazy. What's the best advice you ever got?
That's a difficult one. Let's think. Let's see. Probably you die at the end. Didn't anyone tell you?
Yeah, that's
like,
what
I mean.
I love
like
that.
it sounds funny, but at the same time, it is kind of profound in that like you stress so much about this shit that every day, like so many people just run around with their heads cut off, pretty much. Just like at the end of the day, like you die, you can't do anything anymore. It's like, why do you care about social status? Why do you care about your fucking credit score and shit like that? Like, it's not bad to like maintain that stuff, but people like when you hear stories about like in Japan, like you get fired from your job so you kill yourself. Like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like, people take this life so seriously about shit that like we just made up. You know what I mean? It ultimately doesn't matter. Like, it's like if I have nothing, then I can go in the woods and kill animals for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Eventually I'll get used to it.
Yeah, I particularly like that you picked that because there's so many things that I've heard over the years that are like that. Yeah. That you die at the end. The first time I heard it, that concise of a sentence, just like, you die at the end, right?
Yeah.
That's always stayed with me, and I think it's a very important thing to take away.
I don't know if that's like advice necessarily. I don't know if I'm kind of stretching the
No, I think that's fantastic.
But like,
advice.
I think that's applicable to like anything, anybody's life. You're just like, you know, this shit isn't forever, right? Like, you die at the end. Why are you like? Why would you make yourself miserable?
Yeah, go do that. Go try that. Go learn that. Go travel there. Like,
you get one, and
you only get one.
So why not try to enjoy it? If you could give your 18-year-old self $1,000,
What do you think he'd do with it?
Probably buy music gear.
All right, that's good. And then the follow-up would be, what would you want him to do with it? It's just...
18, let's see. Probably try to find a cheap car.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. And,
Oh, no. You know what? Invest in fucking Snapchat.
Well, see, that I always want to
like-
throw that caveat
like-
out, too. You can't bet on stuff. You
Yeah.
can't
Ah, yeah,
predict
yeah,
it.
yeah,
You can't
'cause
get the
that's-
stock
it's just
market.
too easy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
too Biff Tannen.
But I've had so many ideas about investing in stuff over the years, and I never do it, and then it always goes great, and I'm like, you fucking idiot. Like, you should have...
dummy. You should have
like-
bought. But that works. All right, this we'll wrap it up with this one and keep it simple. What's something you wish you learned earlier?
That ultimately nobody's opinion matters except yours. Like, I always was held back by this sort of like pressure to please people with what I'm doing, but at the same time I would just do what I wanted anyway. But it always came with like a caveat of like being restrained.
Yeah,
And
it's like yeah.
if I could change anything, it would just be like, live your life unrestrained. Don't restrain what you want to do whatsoever, ever.
Yeah.
Because it will just make you unhappy, and you'll make wrong choices because of that, and it'll just lead you into a life that you're not going to enjoy.
I think that's excellent words to leave on.
All right.
Thank you for doing the show.
Thank you.